Hello guys, so today we will discuss LeetCode problem number 73, which talks about set matrix zeros in place. We will understand the problem and we will see how to proceed with your thought process. What is the expectation from this problem? But we won't go into the coding. We will see how to attack the problem. How should we think? So that's the idea of this course. This course actually enables you to think and utilize your capability in your thought process while you are taking a problem and proceeding it. So let's understand the problem first. Suppose you have matrix like this, and this matrix is, you can, as we know that we normally read from left to right. So it is something like this. So if it is the case, that in that case, the first element, the 0 by 0 index is 1. The second element is 0 by 1 is 0. And in this way, 0 by 2, 0 is the row is 0 and 1 represents the column. Second, 2 represents 0 by 0, then 0 represents column, 1 represents the first column, second column, 2 represents the third column, in this way. So here it would be like, so in this way, if we go actually, so we can see like we have 101, 101. So the problem says if you have 0 over here, you will make it 0, you will make it 0, you will make this column 0, you will make this column 0. So in this case, what is going to happen? In this case, the answer they are expecting, as we have 0 here, so this row will be 0, this column will be 0. This is the point area where 0 is lying. So this row will be 0, this column will be 0, this is the 0, here it is lying. So this row will be 0, this column will be 0. So now to approach this problem, how can you do? So there is another one approach, which is, suppose this is the, actually we have m by n matrix. So m is the number of rows and n is the number of columns. So here actually, we can take an array over here. So this array is going to keep the reference in which cell we need to put 0. For an example, this is suppose the first element, or the element at the first cell. This is 1. So if we talk about this array, which is actually pointing to the column, so this needs to be, we cannot keep anything over here because it's 1. Next column, if we pick over here, we are reading left to right. So here it is 0. So we are making an entry over here, and the entry is nothing but 0 for an example. Now we go to the next one. Here nothing we need to keep because it's 1. In the next row, when we pick, so it is 0. So it is 0. So we have already made it 0. It is 1. We have not put anything over here, and in the next row it is 0. So we just mark it 0, right? So in case of this, we can see like there are 2 zeros and this column is remaining empty. We are not putting any entry of 0 over here. Now when we come at this array, it is 0 because we are having 0 over here. It is 0. We are having 1 0 over here. It is 0. We are having 1 0 over here. So now if we just fill according to this reference, what we are going to do, first we first we see like what is the column. The column is basically this is actually referring to the column. So this column is going to be 0 0 0, right? Because we have 0 over here. So the updated value would be 0. This is 0. and here is 0, so it is going to be 0, right? Here, the second area, here it is also 0, it is 0. This needs to be 0. It needs to be updated. Now, when we talk about this reference, how will you do it? So this is 0, 0, 0. So here it should be 0 because the row will be, entire row is represented by this cell. That entire row would be 0 or not. So here it is also 0. So we just can keep over 0, and here it is also 0. We can keep 0. Now, what is the memory it is taking? Suppose m is the maximum size. So here, and this is n is the maximum size. So the space complexity would be om plus. And what about our time complexity? That is also would be om into n, because the area of this triangle rectangle would be m into n. Now we might be probably 3 times if we iterate, that is going to work fine for this. So this is actually the complexity of space complexity, and this is going to be our time complexity. Can we improve from this area? So that's a big question. So the adjustment or improvement, if we talk about this algorithm, yes, we can do. We have to keep this reference somehow, if we can do it in this cell and in this cell. If we utilize this whole cell and utilize this whole cell to keep this reference, to if it is the reference of column and if it is the reference of row, the row reference, if we say, and this is if it is the column reference, then can we adjust this column reference in this row? Can we adjust this row reference in this row, in this column? So that is exactly we are trying to do. So let's see how can we do it. So first of all, when we come into this section, first if we think about like whether we have any, if we think about row or column stuff. So in that case, this is 0. So if we talk about the row would be 0. And then this is 1. We don't care because we are adjusting first for an example, the row 1. Then second time, this is 0. That means it is going to be 0. Third time, this is 0. We don't have any objection. Now in this iteration, when we are setting this reference, so this is 0. So it's 0. It's fine. Here it is nothing. So it's 1. It's fine. Now, when we are going to fill the rest of the fields, how would it look like? If we talk about if we go from left to right, our row data, sorry, in this row, what the data looks like, then it is going to be 0 because it's 0, because this is 0. This whole row would be 0 because this is 0. This whole row would be 0 because this is 0. So it is going to be 0. This is going to be 0. Here, this space complexity is O1, right? Because you are just using one variable to adjust your reference in these cells, nothing else. So that's the approach. I will share the code into the comment section. Hope you guys will have a great time. Thank you.